Guys, what is up? I'm going to really quick go over the trade ideas from today and how we capitalized on one of the biggest trade days of my life, which is really nice to say. So yeah, let's get straight into it. First and foremost, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I over leveraged a little bit and took on a little bit more exposure to risk than I usually would like. But with that being said, again, we did capitalize and we did, hit our profit goal for the day, which I was really stoked about. So let me go over the idea real quick. So coming into the markets, it was really choppy. It was really weird. So we had lots of buy side liquidity above price. Notice this is the 1 day, 4 hour, right? Same format as we always do. But we had price take out this previous day's high, tapping into this buy side liquidity area, and then instantly sweeping and reversing back to the downside. So you can see right here, instant sweep back to the downside. And I had this idea of, okay, there's this 4 hour order block. Price could potentially, respect this order block somewhere and then push higher. Or we could come back into this previous weekly high, right? Which was this week's high over here. And we could tap into that area and then continue higher. Okay, so these were the multiple ideas that I had. This is the idea that I had of like where price could potentially come down or, return to before we continue higher. And so, yeah, we had this idea that price could potentially continue higher on the day after we come down, make some higher low areas or some swing low areas, and then we could continue higher. Again, we had this 4 hour order block that I was looking for price to respect. Now, going down into the 1 hour time frame, what was I seeing? Well, I was seeing that we're obviously on a downtrend, right? Price is obviously moving to the downside. And so I had an idea where I was like, okay, we could have a couple things happen here. We could either have price come up and, tap into this area and then give us a reversal back to the downside, or we could have price, really start to move up from this area and continue higher, taking out these previous highs that were formed during early New York session near this 25,750 area. And yeah, that was the idea. So I was like, okay, I'm really unsure about what price can do, but I had, two ideas. Again, we like to have different perspectives on price. And what had happened was price had shorted. We came down into our area. And then I started to notice that on the 30-minute time frame, okay, 30-minute time frame after we took out this London low. By the way, I was waiting. We had 5:30 high impact news. And then obviously, I was like, I like to wait for 7 o'clock candle to open to see what we could potentially do on the day. So what had happened was that price, you can see right here, this is the 6 o'clock candle, and then this is 6:30. What happened? We just pushed up, and then we instantly started to reverse. So we swept out these highs, right? London highs we swept out, and then we started to reverse, right? Taking out London lows, pushing lower, right? Tapping into that 4 hour area as our target. And so, we could have easily capitalized on a short position to this area after we saw price wanting to potentially short. But, we didn't. I was looking for I was more bullish on the day. So I was looking for price to really go higher. But after I saw price on the 15-minute really start to engulf this area, I was looking for a quick short. So here you can see price starts to reject this 4 hour order block area, right? Starts to reject it, tapping back into these London low areas, and then we start to reverse. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna take this short and I'm gonna look to just capitalize as soon as price taps into this previous low. Kind of like an inducement move. And what had happened was price came right to our area and we had capitalized perfectly, guys. So yeah, really excited about that. Let's go back over to the chart. So we entered in on this candle. This was literally the exact entry area, which was 25,610.50. And it's a little bit higher. We were a little bit lower on this short 1050 right there. So we were really right here on the candle. 610. 50. Boom. So we entered right here. Our stop loss was literally right above this previous high, and we were just looking for price to take out this low. Price came down, and we had initially taken an L over here, which was it is what it is. You know, it happens. It just happens. But yeah, we took an L over here for like $770, and then we recapitalized with this move. So yeah, 40 times 97.5, obviously, you know, bringing our balance up to that 50% equity of the target. So now, you know, tomorrow we're looking basically to make another 3 grand. But yeah, we made this across 5 accounts. And this is why, and just to show you guys, like 102.93, 102.93, 102.93, 102.93. So we're going to go back to our calculator, and we're going to do 2993x5, and we just made 15 grand on the day from 2 trade ideas. So yeah, I mean, just goes to show you guys, like, solid, man. Solid. Ending the day fucking green. We love to see it. Hope you guys took some good, you know, understanding from this. And one big thing though, like one note that I would say that I can do a lot better on was really being a lot more patient with my entries and really learning to pull the trigger when I need to, right? Really understanding, like, hey, you know, take the fucking risk, right? Take the fucking risk. And knowing when to risk versus, like, when to put on risk versus when to take off risk is very key as well. Sorry, I got the hiccups right there. And really, like, today was just a weird day. Like, obviously we could have easily continued higher, and we can continue to take out these highs, right? But the higher time frame was showing me, you know, we could potentially be shorting. So it was a little bit of a weird day, especially with how bullish price has been. I was just like, man, we could potentially start to see at least price start to move down. So yeah, that's just some takeaways from today. You know, I did overtrade. I took two trades, which I don't usually do, but it is what it is. We capitalized and we're profitable on the day. You know, if that trade didn't work out, then we would have been negative pretty big, which, you know, again, it's just two sides of the coin, and we made it happen, guys. So it's cool. Love y'all. Stay safe, stay profitable. Peace.